Hello all. Very, very good evening to you. It's great to be here again. I don't know how many of you caught, but in the comments when I first posted in, I am that close to 3,000 subscribers, which is absolutely stunning. If I just do a quick last minute check, I am currently, where's my refresh? I'm currently on 2995. So I want 5 subs tonight, just 5. So hopefully we manage to do that during this stream. That would be rather special. I think I hit my 1,000 during some live event or other. So let's see who we got in here tonight. I've seen Pi Parrot. Last time I nearly forgot to say hi. Jay Sherman, Irish Stew was in here quite early. The man who's virtually living on my doorstep, Mr. SKYFLYBRI. Evening, sir. Good evening to you, Liam Hodgetts and Digital Demonic Davros. Good stuff. And Grisbait, that's a new name to me. Welcome, sir. And 9 o'clock Hero, who's been on the chat as well. Scrolling back. Darkman, I think I mentioned. If not, I apologise. And you'll mention now, sir. Oh, got a bunch of cheese from Bri. Thank you very much. Again, just scrolling through. Mr. Leighton Brain. Hello. Gary Bennett had a message that didn't appear, which I never saw. Unirock 2. Good evening to you, sir. And actually, that is very topical. I'll bring that up in a minute. So, a nice start. And as I said, what I want to do is try and get myself over 3,000. If I don't, I don't. But it'd just be nice, you know. I hope you're all having a good day. And I haven't asked. I presume you can all hear me. Tiffany Hall. Good evening to you, Tiff. I hope you're doing okay. And I did see your comment about Arnold. I'll be talking about that. Not about Arnold, not about you, but talking about the thing with the comments in a little while. Earthrise, pickled onions indeed, sir. A lot of people won't know what that is, but I do. Your pal, oh, hello, Dora and Koo, one of my very new patrons. Good evening to you. And can you have simple names, please? It's very tough. Aniceto Maldonado Jr. Hopefully I got that right. And hey, sir, to you too, sir. Mr. Unirock 2, sir. I'm a poet and I don't know it. Madam Medusa. Oh, you're still waiting for that debate? Yeah, I have had a couple of emails back and forth with Antonio. I'm currently waiting on him. I don't know quite what the confusion is about the whole map thing. He's now pointing me to the fact that his maps are on Patreon. I've had a glance. I just want him to confirm which one is his latest one. Then once I've had a look at it, I'm happy to arrange a debate. The confusion with the map was in the video I did that you said was an old map. I had taken that from one of his videos. That video has been removed now of his, so that's why no one can see that. So there's nothing underhand. If he's updated, he's updated. I just wasn't aware, so hopefully you understand that. And if you in touch with Antonio, give him a little kick, tell him to confirm or send me his very latest map, and then I'll happily have a look at it and we can arrange to have a debate. I look forward to it. Josef Petrik, good evening from Slovakia. Good evening back to Slovakia, sir. And Bjorn Commits, hello. Hello to everyone. Zombie Wolf. David Parker, hello. I could go on all night. And we got Mr. Logical the Troglodyte in here. Hello. And a big hello to Babes, if you know what I mean, sir. How many maps are needed, Digital? I don't know. I can imagine little tweaks if you get a tiny bit wrong. But hey, it's not my map. I'll work with whatever his latest current map is. So that's what I'm waiting for. Hello, Ephraim Lingstrup. How am I doing with these pronunciations? Am I doing okay, or am I looking like a total knob? I don't know. Never mind. Never mind. Well, I hope you've all had a good day. Today is my first of 4 off, and I managed to get a video finished off and another one shot and rough edited. So that's for Tuesday and Wednesday. Mentioning Dora and Koo in the chat, one of my patrons. If there's any other patrons in there listening, I've had to institute another change. Originally, I used to read out every patron. Then I've changed it to just the new patrons, plus the newest. I'm still sticking with that, but I can only do it on a weekly cycle now. So around the time of the weekend, I'll take any new patrons, add them and reshoot the patron roll, because otherwise it's getting silly, because I was doing it each day for a while. So if someone joins the patron tonight, then they'll appear on the roll as of next week, for a week as the newest, and then a month as one of my new patrons. Pie Parrot, hello. Yes, Mr. Irish Stew, you're quite right. Anyone who hasn't subbed, rush over and do it right now. Let's have another quick check. I don't want to be watching this all evening, but I will have a look every now and then. And we're still at 2995. Irish Stew, you need to crack the whip, mate. Get them going. Right, today I posted, Earthrise, pickled onions. Oh, did I see that one? Let me go to this that I posted earlier on, if I can just find it, and I will switch over to another scene if I get it right. I think I've got it. Okay. Be able to please everybody, but I want to get a gut feel, just in case sort of 99% of the people were saying no live streams ever again, whereas others may have gone the other way. Sound? Has my sound gone? Oh no. Hopefully I'm back again. I didn't think of that. Rats. Sorry about that. I know I lost sound. I'm just waiting for that to come back. Am I still soundless? Back again? Yes. Yeah, sorry. On the other scene where I was showing the poll, I didn't have sound set up. Don't worry, I shall beat myself severely. Yes, I realise that. Anicetto. Let me just see if I can fix that. To be honest, it's probably not worth it. If you go to my channel, there is a community tab. I'll read this out again anyway. It was all to do with the number. Multi-tom-tom, my old China. Better without sound. Well, maybe, but then, dare I say, your videos are better without sound or vision. Good man. Yeah, so it's all to do with the balance of live stream and pre-recorded. It looks as though, although there are just a handful more who'd like more live streams, there are more who would actually like less live streams, prefer pre-recorded, but the majority seem to think I've got the balance about right, and pickled onions sneaks in second place. So I think, bearing that in mind, unless that poll changes vastly, I'll probably keep up pretty much what I'm doing now. And what I was saying when you couldn't hear me was that my life revolves around a 6 on 4 off shift pattern. So my weekend gradually changes, and I can only do live streams either on my days off or when I've got a late the next day. So unfortunately, I'll never be able to have a regular slot like Creaky with his Sunday night chat. Mine's always going to chop and change a bit, I'm afraid. I would like to have a regular slot, but I'm not going to. There was a couple of comments, if I can read out. MMix Linus, no, I haven't seen Eric today. I will have a look at that, thank you. Yes, Surf said that he likes the chance, because it likes live streams, as it's a chance to interact with others, as you guys are doing there, and as I try and do with you. I agree, I do like that too, but I also very, very much understand being able to sit down and think, no, I'm just going to watch a video, 10-15 minute video, whereas a live stream is going to be a lot longer, obviously. And there was a comment in here, which I just mentioned earlier, Tiffany Hall. I have a request, more Arnold. Here you go, Tiffany. Let me make sure I got the screen going. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Let's make sure. There he is. A bit more Arnold for you. As ever, keeping me company. Arnie, Arnold. No, he's well gone. So, Mr. Arnold, as ever, with me in the room. So, what else have we got coming in? Creaky's a funny guy. Mr. Andrat, Creaky's excellent. Routines are for robots, 9 o'clock hero. Yeah, they are, but I have to say, having each day working a different shift, different days of the week being your days off, that can be quite tough. Who else we got in here? Oh, Multi Tom Tom's still talking away. Multi Tom Tom, you're welcome to come in here and chat, as long as you keep it clean and respectful, and I'd ask other people to do the same towards Multi Tom Tom. Hello Kitty Kitty, bye Barrett. Errant Massa, no, he's male, just a tabby and a lot of white. Oh, Multi Tom Tom seems to like cats. Well, you can't be that bad, can you? Have I mentioned the lighthouse yet? What lighthouse? The only lighthouse I'm aware of is the one to do with, was it Nathan Oakley and someone else talking about a lighthouse? I don't know what else that might refer to, I'm afraid. Yes, Arnold has been destroying flirfs today. He wasn't actually in the video. He was busy eating the flirf, so he didn't get in the video that I've filmed today. But so I'll try and get him in just for Tiffany in a video very soon. 274727 did talk a putty tat. He was a tweeping up on you. So, right, I mentioned Unirock. Unirock, are you still in there, sir? I don't know if I can tell who's logged in until they comment. Oh, apparently Multi Tom Tom makes people happy. Yes. Be nicer if you made people happy when you arrived, though, rather than when you left, mate. I'm sorry. Sorry, just teasing. Yes, Unirock. I don't know who's seen it, but JM Truth has posted, within the past couple of days, a new video. There has been, as I'm sure that the vast majority, if you're aware, there's been a big falling out between Joshua and Michael and Shelley, and I think the guy's name's Wendell, and their Plain Truth project. And each side was accusing the other side of thieving and lying and goodness knows what else. Well, JM's actually posted a video today. He posted one, I think about a week ago, when he showed excerpts from his credit card statement to try and indicate he had purchased certain things. But today or yesterday I think, he posted another one where he's actually showing dates and documents of Shelley coming on board his project, I think. And Unirock had made a comment on there, which is why I suddenly thought of you, Unirock, because I have as well. Because believe it or not, at face value, it looks as though JM Truth has evidence to back himself up. It's a shame he's never had evidence for the flat earth, but if he's got evidence to back himself up with regard to the Plain Truth project, ownership of scripts, name, camera equipment, well, good for him. And I actually posted a comment saying I think your flat earth stuff is because you're an idiot. However, that does look like some interesting evidence, in which case I wish you well, because obviously if he has been ripped off, nobody deserves that, even if they're on the other side. That'd be terrible. Tusk, he makes you happy in the same way that watching a spoiled child fall over makes you happy. That's harsh, that's harsh. Did I see the rap battle vid from Conspiracy Music Guru? No, I didn't. New Zealand Flat Earth Movement, sorry. JM is taking his case to Gumby and Gumby Law Office. He should get Anthony Riley on the case. He's a lawyer, isn't he? That would be interesting. Mr. Victory, yes, I don't know if you've seen that latest video. Obviously, I don't know. Anything like that will have to be sought out through legal means. And he actually mentioned a contract. So if I was writing a contract, I'd make damn sure it specified who owned what. Bit pointless having a contract otherwise. I guess it'll all come out in the wash. But as I said, at face value, it looks like he's got some more interesting stuff. So I guess this battle goes on. John Curtin, JM with evidence. Is it April Fool's? No idea, chap. No idea. He wears a Gumby hat. Good evening, Sean Hawkins. Let's have another quick look at this. Are you guys going to disappoint me? Or drag someone into the room, force them to log in and subscribe? We're still at 2995. All good fun. I'll tell you what, feeling a bit chilly, let's instead go through into my garden. Much better view there. Here we go. Lovely. Lovely. So we've got a couple more people coming in, have we? Oh, Sean Hawkins anyway. Good evening, as I said. Theoretic. I like the name, Theoretic. And of course, the ever popular Hugh Jas. Right. So Multi-Tom making a video. Good. Well, let us know when your video's done, or send me a link and I'll trash it. How's that? It'd be interesting. Very interesting. I look forward to that. Yeah, isn't it just? I mean, I'm thinking of putting a picnic table right up against the palm tree there. Yeah, it's very nice. Actually, I don't know where that's filmed, but about 2 years ago, I went to the Maldives, to one of the resort islands. Absolute bliss. It was the most beautiful place on earth, and of any places I've ever been before, it's one place I would absolutely love to go again. It cost us a packet. It went all on the credit card, but it was one of those things where we thought, no, we've never done anything like this before. The hell with it, we're going to do it. And you know what? It was the best thing we ever did. As I said, a lot of money, but I do not regret a penny of it. And I'd do it again in a shot. I need my Speedos on, Pipe Parrot. I've got them on. I've got them on. What more do you want? You want me to parade up and down in them? Pie Parrot. So, Custard Pie, hello. A symbiotic relationship, Flat Earth and Globus. Well, possibly, Custard. They pump out the rubbish, we sweep it up, put it in the bin, they tip it out again. Yeah, quite symbiotic. Actually, Martin H, about the curved horizon, I did see this video and I thought, damn, I can't show it. It busts the globe Earth, doesn't it? Where's the bloody curve? Each side of that screen, it should be going off the bottom. But, you know, I was thinking I'll either claim CGI, NASA or fisheye lens and I'll be good to go. Don't tell anyone, will you? Did Arnold get to go Opus 1? Afraid not. No, I really missed him when I went. Who else we got? Do not show us your coconuts. Okay. All right, if you insist, Tusk, coconuts are off limit tonight. Yes, I don't know. I think Unirock has disappeared again. That's a shame, because I'm sure he's got comments he could make about that JM Truth video of today. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I'm sure he can make comments about that JM Truth video of today. Yeah, it was interesting and certainly worth a look. You know, try and keep an open mind. Hey, I'm not a filmmaker. I don't think I do too bad with a £15 webcam, a desk lamp, and a bit of mucking around and practice. And he's supposed to be professional. And bearing in mind he's a professional, his sound on his video was absolutely atrocious. It's appalling. John Stock, good morning to you, sir. I think, unless I've got the wrong person, in which case I do apologise. Oh, excuse me. I think, John, you should find your name scrolling across the bottom at some point soon as one of my patrons. Unless it's another John and I've just really embarrassed myself and you're not a patron. Glober Mom, hello, hello. Ah, working on your JM for DFOTY video. Yeah, plenty of stupid, you're right. I'll be submitting as well. Take it out. Don't mention the war. Don't mention the lighthouse. I think I mentioned it once, take it out, but I think I got away with it. LT, believing JM. I know what you mean, but a little later, have a look. Same one, John Stock, I hope. Is that what we're talking about? Yes, I know what you mean about believing him, but it's worth a look because, as I said, at face value, it looks as though he possibly has a case, you know, and if that's true, more power to him, I suppose. Right, my cigarette for the night, which I had ready at the start and still not even lit. So, any news, anything I need to know of, any comments on my latest videos? I'd be interested to know what people think of them. The last one was that Stellan TV with the climate change, and even though that wasn't directly political, it was quite interesting seeing people, you know, have very strong views. I can keep that separate as to what, you know, how I deal with a person. So if Mr. Irish Stew out there, for instance, is absolutely pro fox hunting, absolutely believes climate change is a load of rubbish, I would disagree with him absolutely, but that's cool, and I'll still get on with Irish fine, and I'd happily go to the pub with him. I can keep the two separate, but I'm aware that a lot of people, you know, things get heated and emotional. A lot of people can't do that, so I steer clear of politics. Philip Cooper, carry on nitwit stamping. According to Flat Earth Mantra, the entire stock of fisheye lenses must be exhausted by now. Pie Parrot, 6 years from 40 a day. Been vaping since. Good for you. That is brilliant stuff, and I'm well impressed. Tusk, 100% right-wing propaganda. I'm assuming you're talking about that Stellan TV. I don't even think it was right-wing propaganda, because it was nothing official. His TV channel is just him, and as I think I mentioned in the video, he also believes that through a glitch, we're actually living about 220 years in the future. Go figure. And he's convinced that quite a few politicians are actually androids. His research was watching them on TV. So I won't hold too much store in what he has to say. Irish Stew doesn't do politics either. Well, I'll tell you what, away from this camera, I'm really keen on talking politics, and I'd happily chat, discuss, argue politics till the cows go home, because face to face, you can judge, you can see if the other person's starting to get upset, and you can back off. You can make it clear that you're not attacking them personally. But in this environment, it doesn't work, at least for me. I guess if you're a channel that's going to be absolutely pro-left or absolutely pro-right, it doesn't matter, because everyone's either going to agree or disagree with you anyway. But if you're trying to maintain any sort of neutrality, it gets a bit sticky. So as my big interest is all the conspiracy stuff, junk science, flat earth, creationism, young earth creationism, that sort of thing, why bring politics into it, other than at the very, very highest level, and always making clear that I'm not making a political point. Erdwulf, now you posted to me, Erdwulf Sletsvurtha. That's what I'm going for tonight anyway. Trying to educate or deny it in the comments of the Stellan TV video. Yeah, politics will get me shot, probably. Probably. Darn, I didn't break 3K. Meat is food. Have you just subscribed? Let's see. Because I was on 2995 and I'm now on 2996. That's you. You're number 2996. Welcome to you. Welcome. Oh, what a week. I've had a long week. Excuse me. Do apologise. I finished work at 4 this morning. Back home in bed about 10 to 5. As you can see, it doesn't really make for a good work-life balance, but there we go. Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't make the 3K. That would have been great, because I know that Surf is my 100th subscriber. I don't know who my 1000th, 2000th were, but it'd be nice to know the 3000th. Where are we? Well, what's happened there? What did it get? Yes, Schmockel Fujiwara, wondering what sort of bull will be next. Is that bull from me or from the Flat Earth community? I have seen you around, but you'll forgive me, please. I can't remember if you were Flat Earth or Globe side. Sorry. So, yes, I had JM I wanted to talk about, and talking about live videos versus pre-recorded. So I don't know if anyone's got any comments they want to mention with regard to that. It's not going to be a massively long live stream tonight. It's just I wanted a chance to catch up because I really enjoy it. Do you know what? Outside of this, I am not a social person. I don't go around the pub. I don't, hang around watching, I don't go to football. I don't go hanging around with the guys. I pretty much keep myself to myself. So Mrs. Sensible has been absolutely astounded at me doing this, both the videos and the live and all this interaction. I don't know quite why, but maybe it's the separation, but there's a screen and quite a lot of miles of copper, fibre and satellite in between us all. I'm a Celebrities on at 9, Mr. Sensible. Well, Pied Parrot. I'm disappointed now. Yeah, let smokers comment through, please. Thank you. Celebrity, really, Pipe Parrot? Really? Come on. Well, if it's your thing, you knock yourself out, love. Not really me, though. So I had one drag from that and it'd gone out. Oh, malicious bloke, good evening. Waiting for them to invent anti-social media, and you'll be all on that. Mr. Victory likes live streams, have cool chats with cool peeps, and Mr. S, thank you. But the videos are fun to watch. I agree. I think it's a bit of both. I think a channel that was just live streams, I think they're losing something. Jay Sherman, you're on Discord now. Are you now? Are you on? Where are you? I can't see you. No, I can't see you, Jay, if you were trying to come in for a chat. Jay, Todd Creaky, the same thing. Vids are great, live is nice to actually interact. I agree. Creaky is very fortunate in one way, in that he can make a regular slot, a Sunday evening slot, which is good for him, because of course everyone knows when it's going to be. And that regularity will obviously help. Oh, it's Sunday night, coming up to that time, I'm going to go and see Creaky. That's brilliant. And I'm, as I said, I'm never going to be able to do that. As far as I'm aware, he only does the one live a week. Mine is currently around one a week. I could do premieres for my pre-recorded shows and interact in the chat if I'm free. There's a problem with that though, Pipe Parrot. If I wanted to do a premiere for Wednesday night and I upload it now, it alerts everyone now that there's going to be a premiere in 2 days' time, and then in 2 days' time there are no further alerts. So you're relying on people remembering or going in and setting a reminder for 2 days ahead. So when I have done premieres, I've done a very short reminder vid just before, that launches a couple hours before, and that was for things like my Right the Hand discussion rather than an ordinary vid. I quite enjoy premieres, but as I said, the problem is letting people know. And Mr. Andrat says, looking forward to Creaky on Sunday. Well, just make sure if you're watching Creaky and you're in there, I try to when I can, need to keep an eye on the lad. Make sure he doesn't stay up past his bedtime. Tell him Dad said so. Tom C. Tutor, what's going on? Tell you what's going on, Tom, and I want everyone to know, and I'm glad you came in. I did mention in my email, Tom C. is one of my newest patrons, and he also mentioned about having very kindly made a Streamlabs donation. And I said I hadn't got an alert, but I thought it would appear in the live stream. It has. So I've got it sat here ready. Mr. Tom C. Tutor very kindly donated $5, thank you, with a comment saying, for your Mr. S channel's running and general flurf expenses. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. And I can tick that one off now as acknowledged. So everyone else knows this is not a push to get people to do it, but anyone who wishes to, you can use Super Chat. I think everyone knows what that is, but you can also Super Chat. Is the Super Chat not on there? I can't see it on the window. Must be an option, and I didn't have it ticked. Never mind. You can do Super Chat, or you can donate via Streamlabs. The link should be under the video. The difference is with the Streamlabs, YouTube, neither YouTube nor anyone else takes a cut of the money. It all goes to the creator for whichever channel you're on. Mr. Andrat, wish you had the cash. Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate the thought. I appreciate people just joining in, people subscribing. We can't all do that, and perhaps we don't want to do that, even if we could do that, and that's fine. Okay, I just really want to make clear that I would not think any the less of anyone who either didn't want to, or through circumstance was unable to, either Patron or Super Chat or whatever. Not at all. So have no worries there. It's on. Oh good, the Super Chat is on. For some reason, it's not showing up on my window. Unless... that's weird. I can see a Super Chat's just come in, which I'll read in a sec. But I can't. I can only see the type something. I can't see the $sign type something, which is weird. Anyway, that's a good chance to quickly read that out. Once again, thank you, Mr. 3am. I keep saying Mr. I don't know. I'll assume Mr. Forgive me if I'm wrong. 3am Paranormal Horror has super chatted €2. A 15-degree-per-hour drift. Thank you, Bob. Do you know what? You can't say that too many times, can you? We all owe Bob massive, massive thanks. And actually, what I want to do, talking of thanks, this is only 30 seconds. I just want to say thank you to my patrons. I greatly appreciate all my patrons, including new patrons TC Lucas, David Cooley, Blair Sadovitz, Brian Rulke, John Stock, Mike Apple, Jason Downing, Lucky Jack Aubrey, Duranku and Peter Lennox, and my newest patrons Critical Analysis, Justin Neal, Mark Adrisioko, Tom, John... Oh, I think I might have cut it off a fraction too soon. I'm sorry. There's always going to be a screw up or two. I do apologise. Oh. Pie Parrot, as you can all see, has kindly done a super chat. Reverse psychology, eh? Oh, that was £1.99. Pie Parrot, Pip, thank you. Very much appreciated. And it's actually triple reverse psychology. I knew you would think that, so I actually didn't say that to reverse it, so you'd do it. And, oh, I've got another one coming in, although it hasn't appeared. Oh yes, Mr. John Stock. Good evening, sir. Has just super chatted $3 Australian, 3 of the finest Australian dollars, with what looks to me a thumbs up dancing gourd. Thank you for that, John. Really, really appreciate it. Liam says, check my sub count. Okay, let's check my sub count. So I'm still showing 2996. Refresh that page and we get 3,001. 3,001. You know what this calls for? This calls for a celebration. I've been really hopeful this would happen. So here we go. If I can get this sorted out. And thanks for heads up on that. Ah. Oh. God, it stinks. Wow. Thank you, everyone. Hey, 3K. Thank you, each and every one of you. I appreciate you all. That's brilliant. I'm well pleased. Thank you. Where do we go? What have I missed? I've missed some... sorry, scrolling back. Check my sub count, yes. Woohoo, 3,000. 3K cheese from SKYFLYBRI. Pie Parrot, you've missed it. I got to 3,000. Wow, all that money. Multi-tom-tom. Yeah, that's right. I'm now going to the Maldives tomorrow. I shall book my ticket. I've got those kind super chats from John Stock, Pie Parrot, and 3am. Sorry, I can't see the whole name at this point. 3am Paranormal Horror. And with that, I'm going to the Maldives. No more videos. I'll be gone. And actually, I've just seen. I've got a couple more super chats. So please let me read those out. Mr. Hugh Jas has super chatted $5 Australian. Congrats on a 3K. Let me buy you a drink. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mr. Victory has just super chatted 10 of his US dollars for your cheese fund, and congrats on the 3,000. Mr. Victory, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Oh no, it had to be done, didn't it? Mr. Bjorn Kamitz has super chatted, and I'm sure this is deliberate. You could choose any other currency, couldn't you, sir? Has super chatted, congrats, 100 Swedish krona, which means a sex dance is in order. Yeah, party on, dude, party on. Woo! Thank you, Bjorn. I really appreciate that. And I hope I haven't made anyone sick. I've still got all this stuff all over my screen. Oh dear. Oh man. Do you know what? My cheeks are aching. I'm going to have to try and catch up just with some of these texts. Philosopher of Nonsense, 3K subs. Deep in Pluto, Neptune or Uranus just popped in. Where's the pickled onions? You missed those, sir. 2747, 15 degrees per hour drift towards the globe. Bjorn, don't worry about any typos, sir. I'm not complaining. Magic. You actually got that same thing. You know, that's a Nathan Oakley thing about the convert meters to kilometers. It was one of the entries for the Conspiratard Cheese Awards. I still apologise. I am still working on it. That will be out soon. Multi Tom Tom getting all jealous. Yeah, actually, Multi Tom Tom. I tell you what. If you start a Patron feed, I will join as a patron, one-off, for a month, and I'll give you $1 to shut up. How's that sound? Again, only teasing. Meaty's Food, congratulations. Thank you very much. Oh, pardon me. Nobody can debunk him. Wow, there's a challenge. Tiffany, thank you very much. Mr. Andrak, congrats. Sorry, the screen just jumped up. Best dad dancing on YouTube. Martin H. Someone please click that. No touchpad. Another one of my very long time patrons. Thank you and good evening to you. And why would you want to click that? It's so you can play it rolling 24/7 at home. It's nothing to do with embarrassing me on YouTube. Is it, touchpad? Wiggle like Sleepy. He's at it all day. Guys, these are coming so fast. I'll buy that for $1. Oh, crumbs. What film was that? That was in RoboCop. I'll give you RoboCop for that, Mr. Victory. Tell me if I'm right. Yes, Global Mum. He is the only one who's bored. 70 bored people. I know, Multi Tom Tom. It's terrible, isn't it? What will they think of next? A sex dance between me and Team Skeptic. You arrange it and I'll do it. Okay? There. That's a challenge. You arrange it, I'll do it. With a vote off. How's that? Oh man. Damn it, you are busted. Yeah. No, if you can arrange with Team, get him to do that, I'll do it. And I'm wondering, I don't know what we do as a prize. Perhaps as a prize, we get to see a video of touchpad doing a sex dance. Isolating it right now. Yeah, thank you so much, Global Mom. Do you know what I was going to say? I'm going to do a clip of one of your videos, but they're all in animations, aren't they? It won't work. RoboCop 1984. Thank you. It's that guy with glasses, wasn't it? With the people climbing the greasy pole, climbing for dollars. Man, isn't it weird how things stick in your head? Guys, just say, I'm loving this. I really am. But I'm very much aware we're not talking about anything. We're just, I know it says on here, shoot the breeze. That's pretty much what it is tonight. Yeah, Listen, Global Mum, I've got a thick skin. If I wasn't willing for people to take the mickey, I wouldn't put myself up on YouTube. So don't you worry about it. I need to wear a mankini if I'm doing a sex dance. No bloody way, Mr. Jones 1972. Unless you are a multi-millionaire, and you offer me half of your fortune, then I'll do it. Okay? Can't say fairer than that. Touchpad. Did I lose viewers or gain viewers? I don't know, but did I lose subs? That's more to the point. I was on 3001 and now I'm on 3001. They can bear it. My subs are made of tougher stuff than that. Tougher stuff. Do you know what? Yeah, you like shooting the breeze, so do I. Do you know what? This has been a real tonic for me tonight. I've had six hard days. I know I don't talk about what my work is, but 6 hard days, and it can really be get at me mentally. Really wearing. And today I've worked on a video which I quite enjoyed. Well, I do quite enjoy doing them. That's fine. It's quite neutral. But this, you guys, you have just lifted me, and I appreciate that. I really do. Not even for the finest Stilton. I'm not quite sure what you're after, Mr. Jones 72. Are you? I'm not sure if you're trying to get me to do something on here, or if you're trying to arrange something personal, mate. I'm really not sure. I've gained 109 viewers since the 3K mark. Sex dance approved. Okay, here's a question, Tusk, and I hope I'm saying that right, Tusk. Have I ever held any beliefs in the paranormal, or any that I'm embarrassed about now? Not really. The closest I came to is a memory from when I was just under 8 years old, and I can remember in the bedroom the curtains had a sort of small checker pattern on them, very thin curtains, and in the summer one night I saw the outline of sort of head and shoulders at the window, a first floor window with nothing to stand on below. I was convinced there was someone there, and I mean, as I said, I was under 8 years old. I believed it, and I thought that it was a ghost. And I was going to say it came back to haunt me. That's probably the wrong word. But every now and then over the following years, I just think about that and think, oh, that was weird. And as I got a little older, I just thought, yeah, that was weird. And it was probably just a shadow or a ripple in the curtain or something like that. Of course, at 8 years old, I didn't think about that. It was a head and torso and head and torso, or both. That's probably the closest. Yeah, Jay Sherman. I used that joke about negotiating the price. That's right. But hell, for half of a fortune of several millions, yeah. Hey, everyone's got their price. That's mine. Slam DVW. Curious about the deal with cheese. What you need to do, Slam, have a look at my back catalogue, because I don't want to spoil it for you. Have a look at my video called Sleeping Warrior Busted with Cheese. That was the first time cheese came in. It has been used a couple times since, but that was the first and the finest of cheeses. And it just became part of the character stroke persona. Getting cheese involved can be quite difficult at times. But yeah, watch that video and you'll see. It went down quite well, that did. And Bjorn is talking to Tommy Grunwald. Please let me know, Tommy, is that correct? Grunwald. Is that how you'd say it? I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm not meaning to be insulting. I'm meaning to be polite. And Tom Tom C. Patron is doing battle with NZ Flat Earth Movement in the chat about the Polestar. Good for you. Just keep it all clean and respectful, guys, please. Busting them softly with cheese. So my favourite cheese. I love a nice bit of Stilton, but probably the way I most appreciate cheese is to have a fresh baguette with good slices of brie on real butter with some cranberry sauce. That is heaven. Absolute heaven. Close enough, Tommy. Okay, well, as I said, I'm trying to do my best. It's that O with the line through. I'm assuming it's something like an sound, but I'm trying. Got to be mature cheddar. Good choice, Papara. Scottish cheddar. Ooish sound. Philosopher of Nonsense, by all means, make a video debunking the trolls, and yeah, go for it. I haven't seen what the argument's about. I see, yeah, actually, Monty Tom Tom's right in one aspect. If he's actually making arguments and not just trying to wind people up, that's not trolling. If he's just saying things just to wind people up, then that's trolling. So there is a difference. So we'll take you at face value and treat you respectfully, Multi Tom Tom, and assume you're just arguing a case, which is okay. All right. Where are we? Oh, I've totally missed whatever New Zealand Flat Earth Movement's saying. Tom still has it. Dairy Lee, Martin H. I'll tell you one thing I'd like to try. Not because I'm expecting to like it, but because I like to try something different. Is that American canned cheese? Is it really, really awful? Is it just very, very processed, or is it, meh, it's all right? Just like to see. Perhaps someone could tell me what they think of it. Venezuelan beaver cheese. That's real, isn't it? I'm not sure if you're joking about something, because that sort of sticks in my mind. I've heard of that. Venezuelan beaver cheese. Contestant, Dancing with the Stars 2020. Oh, he's just trolling, is he? He hasn't argued anything, but it's alleged superiority. Well, God, that shows you how important I think you are. Multi-Tom-Tom, I forgot your name. By all means, argue the flat earth. Tell us why we're wrong, okay? But tell us and try and give us some evidence, okay? Smoked Gouda. Oh, I tell you what I do like, and that's Emmental. Do like that. It smells a bit like feet, but the cheese, I love it. Monty Python. What about Monty Python, Irish? Are you saying it's time for Monty Python, or? Tuss says that the US Marines had processed cheese, which is awesome. I'd like to try it. I really would. Did I try fondue? Was that raclette? Is that how you say it? But no, I haven't tried either of those. Venezuelan beaver cheese, Monty Python. So that's where I've heard it. Sorry. It was in there in the back of the head, but I couldn't place that at all. I haven't had any cheese I didn't really like. Do I sell cheese? Teespring, supplier of fine cheeses. That's an interesting thought, Nine. Any cheese I really didn't like? I don't think so. Yeah, yes, I do. It was supposedly sort of a bog standard sort of cheddar, and Mrs. Sensible went too far along the lines of value for money. It was a cheese from Tesco. It was not value cheese, it was just cheddar cheese. A cheap one. A very cheap one. Basically, I would describe it as a block of yellow wax. It tasted of absolutely nothing. In fact, wax probably has a better taste than that cheese did. it was just, what's the word? It was like a negative taste. There was nothing there, absolutely nothing. And it was so bad we took it back and they gave us the money back, which is all right. And yeah, so got the money back, got something else. Philosopher of Nonsense, I mentioned it earlier, the Cheese Award. I'll try and give you an update. I have, from the special guest star, their contribution has been supplied, is ready, is waiting for me. A host to do the introduction at the beginning has supplied me with what they need to. That's done, that's ready, that's waiting for me. I have sorted out the intro and the stuff about the voting. Everything's in the right order and so on. All the clips are in the film project in the right order, ready to go. All I need now is all the little slots of film of me to fit in. I don't really want to just film it in front of this chair here, so I had roped in my daughter, who does media and filming and whatnot, to do filming of me, which will make it much, much better. But I have two problems. One is her finding the time at the same time as I'm available, and two is my lighting is atrocious, so it's a bit of an issue. So it's still there, not forgotten, and I'm itching to get it out there because I'm really looking forward to it. So, as always, I apologise for it being so late. What are you guys talking about now? It ain't a globe because reasons. Hugh, I'm convinced now. He's convinced me. It ain't a globe because reasons. Sorry, I'm just going to switch on the heating because it's gradually got chilly in here through the afternoon. The award should be that bad block of cheese. What bad block of cheese? That's a highly highly valuable award from YouTube. That is, mate. I don't know if I could ever let that go, unless the level of stink increases at a geometric rate, in which case I'll probably give it away. Doc Tyler, hit like before you leave. If you like cheese, it's the least you can do. Thank you. Bjorn likes cheddar. You can't go wrong with cheddar. Absolutely wonderful cheese. And I've just received a couple of messages. Please excuse me a second. I hate people going to their phone, but I'm just expecting some messages. And the reason why I've just got that, and I'm rather glad, is Bjorn said just up here a bit, he says, since I'm not a cheese guy, I'm only at tier 1. If any cheese is going on my food in my life, it's cheddar. It was his mention of tier 1 which made me think, Bjorn has just become my newest patron. Thank you very much, Bjorn. Very welcome. I do appreciate it. You will be added on this weekly cycle, so I'm afraid you won't appear on videos this coming week, but from a week tomorrow, the Tuesday onwards next week, okay? Although, what I can do, because hopefully I'm a whiz, I'm asking for trouble, aren't I? But no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for Mr. Bjorn. Let's find it. Going to get you added in a very few seconds. Live streaming, Patreon scroller, and let's get your name right. I'm not going to be able to do the accent, at least not without mucking around with it, so please forgive me. I'll just try and get you on here as best I can, because I don't think, let me just try if it will do an accent. We did the wrong accent, so I won't put an accent on now. I'll try and sort that out. The spelling Kamits. Kamits. That's saved. So I've just seen the scroller stumble because it's uploaded. Bjorn, you should, in the next few minutes, watch the scroller. Once that's rotated, cycle through, you will see yourself appear. How about that? Patron on the fly. Very pleased, very happy. Thank you very much. So someone, Bjorn especially, keep an eye and you'll appear in a minute. That's great. Where are we? If the Earth is flat, what is on the other side? That's a good question. We don't go into that often enough, really. Is it turtles all the way down? Is it backs of... Yeah, someone else... Nine's just said a turtle. I had no idea. Or is it a flat disc and it's space all around? In which case, why don't we mount an expedition to go over the edge and underneath? And actually, if we could, would we stick, in effect, upside down? I don't know. Well, we wouldn't need a dome as a gas container then, would we? We would need a sphere. Don't tell them that. That will blow their mind. That will totally blow their mind. I'm still watching that scroller come by. Turtles, turtles all the way down. Applewood. Apparently Darkman thinks the underside of the Earth is all applewood. Or are you talking cheeses? I think you're talking cheeses. Drill a hole through it. What would happen if we did? If we did drill a hole through it, we mined a little too deep and came out the other side. Would all the air pour through? Because that way's down, isn't it? According to flat earthers, for no readily apparent reason. Why not go on a voyage to the moon? I'd love to go on a voyage to the moon, flat earth movement. You're funding it. If that was funded and there's a reasonable chance, let's say 50-50 chance of coming back, I think I would take that gamble. I'm sure Mrs. Sensible wouldn't be pleased until she worked out how much life insurance she could get, in which case she'll be packing my bags, sending me there. But that's a two-way thing. A few years back I paid for her to go in a balloon because the plan was to shoot the balloon. That didn't work. I sent her up in a glider because it hasn't got an engine. So if something goes wrong, there's no hanging around up there. They gave her a parachute. I actually took her to a parachute jump and she wasn't scared at all, and she jumped out and the instructor said, "You're bloody mad, you should have been scared, it's the first time you sat in an airplane at 3,000-4,000 feet or whatever it is." And she was all, "Oh, come on, let's jump." Go figure. So she's still here, dragging her knuckles, her hairy knuckles. I'll hear them as she comes. You're in Oz, Hugh, so I'm pointing at you, but I'm also down. How can I be down? Got you. Your type here is the right way up. You are lying. You are not in Australia, or Australia is actually on the same side of the Earth as me. Otherwise your writing would be upside down. Booyah, globe Earth. I should be a flat earther. If I could go on a day trip to the moon but had to share a descent capsule with Nathan Oakley, would I do it? Yes. Do I have to bring him back? I'll tell you who'd be well prepared for that though. Anthony Riley. Him and his bottle, and he'd be sorted for the trip to the moon. There'd be no worries about bathrooms, would there? Oh, and I've not been watching the scroller. Bjorn, I don't know if you've noticed, has your name come up? The UK is fake, says Hugh. I'll tell you what, there was a guy in Scotland, I'm not sure if it was Simon Dan who did the video, months ago, or someone else. Sorry, months ago, a guy in Scotland who was posting a video saying that the UK was fake. And he's been here. Go figure. Piperette wants her super chat back if I'm a flat earther. I think you'll find, Pip, that super chats are non-refundable. Sorry. But don't worry. Don't worry. I'm sure that someone will convince me of the error of my ways and turn me back from flat earth to the one true religion. NASA. What a nice chat we're having tonight. Good evening all from Bristol, TGK2 Space K. Good evening to you. Rex Kenny, hello, hello. Hold on. Good evening. And Mr. Andrak would love to fly Virgin Galactic. That carrier vehicle, the thing with the 2 fuselages, I don't know. There must be a reason why they did it like that. But it looks so flimsy to me. Obviously it isn't, but it just looks so flimsy to me. Quite why they decided like that, I don't know. Would I go? I probably would. But it's a lot of money to get. I think they only really go suborbital, don't they? Not a full orbit. Enough to see curve of the Earth. And I guess some 0G, but not. I mean, I might be wrong about that. Smell the cheese, it's a globe. All right, Colon, you convinced me. Yeah, you win. That's enough to get me back on board. You can all sleep soundly again. Mr. Sensible has returned to his senses. Hail NASA! Absolutely. And bless their holy rocket nozzles. Australia is part of the old... Yes. Rex Kelly. Australia is part of the old UK. So if Australia is fake, UK is too. Hello from the South Pole, from SKYFLYBRI. Now, that's more believable. You show him, Bri. I did. I think it might have been on 9 o'clock news a few years ago, where they mentioned, it's quite unpolitically correct, but they mentioned that Australia is Britain's largest open air prison. But I didn't say that myself, of course. I'd never say such a thing. No, not me, sir. Where's your cheese fork? I don't know. Do you get a cheese fork? Ever consider sending Mrs. Sensible on a ride with a Vomit Comet? Touchpad? If I could book a ticket on the Vomit Comet, I'd be pushing her out of the way so I could go on. I would love it. I'm sure I'd feel queasy and maybe a bit nervous because I'm not the best of person on flights. I'm okay on nice steady flight at a height, but it's the coming up and coming down I'm not so keen on, and turbulence when you suddenly drop and you sort of lose a bit of weight momentarily. But yes, I would go on a Vomit Comet. Any idea how much it is? Can the public book tickets? I don't know. Hail Sagan, grand prophet, no less. So where are we? 9:10. So we've had 70 minutes of fun chat, some great support. And as I said, my cheeks are aching from smiling so much. Huge ass. I'll tell you what, we'll call it a draw. Saying largest open air prison, I thought that was Birmingham. We'll call it a draw. No offence to any Brummies that are in the house, though, of course. I think we better move away from this subject. What to say to an Aussie when he travels to Britain? Welcome back. You've been on the Vomit Comet. Horrible feeling. Tusk, was that just as a member of the public? Can you do that? Or, you know, obviously I'm not asking you to dox yourself, or is it perhaps through work or some institution or something like that? You know, can you just buy a ticket? And if so, what sort of amount was it? Bjorn. Oh, there you are. I'm just seeing you, or you've probably just missed it now. Your name has appeared. I know you didn't join just for that. I do. But I consider it the least I can do is to acknowledge people. Because people making comments, I appreciate. My subscribers, I appreciate. There's something a little different with a patron. This is not in any way knocking those who aren't, either because they can't or don't want to be. but the fact that someone has stuck their hand in their pocket to show support, I think deserves a special acknowledgement. Although if anyone ever said to me, look, I don't want to go on there, please take me off, or don't put me on there, I would more than honour that, and perhaps mention that there's 2 other patrons who don't wish to be named. Yes, your name just scrolled by. Tusk, ex-UKSF. What's the S? UK Sensible Forces? Special Forces, I presume. Oh, okay. So I got you. So it was through that you ended up in a vomit comment. That's cool. $5,000 for touchpad. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. So if I had $5,000 and I was going to the States, would I prefer to spend that money on, I'm not sure exactly the amount, but on business class or first class if you can, or spend it on a vomit comet? I'd love to see to experience first and business class, but I think I'd do the vomit comet to experience weightlessness. Yeah, I would do that. Is the vomit comet anything like the vomit ferry to Scotland? Probably Irish. And I see people talking about Polaris 534 million light years away in angle. So I guess I hadn't watched the chat. I guess we're talking angles of parallax. And Hugh's saying it's 400 light years away. Off the top of my head, I've got no bloody idea, so I can't comment. Excuse me, please, everyone. My deepest apologies. Just seen Bry's done aerobatics in a Yak 52, and so it's experienced weightlessness, zero gravity. Someone else saying Polaris 400 light years away. If I have to come here, fly. I'd have to fly to get there, Tusk. UK Special Forces sounds cool, but Flat Earth Special Forces gets another meaning. Oh dear. We should give them all ranks. Who's the biggest ranker Flat Earther? "70 minutes, and I still haven't managed to get through that one roll up. So I know I've been told off before about smoking. We talked about that. I don't want to go through that again tonight. But I'd be able to give up if I just did a constant live stream, because I never get through the bloody thing. Let's have another quick look. I was at 3001. We haven't been pushing it now, so it'd be interesting now. 3001. I'm happy anyway, really happy. The Earth is a rhombico-sidodecahedron. And apparently flat Earth movement is incapable of objective thought. I'll have to watch this live stream back to find out what you guys have chatted about. And Colon saying that you should stop parroting what Nathan and DeBay say. Excuse me. Again, I am so sorry. How embarrassing. Yeah, DeBay. DeBay parrots Samuel Burley Robotham, Mr. Flat Earth Movement. I suggest you have a look at his diatribe from the 1850s or whatever, and you'll recognise that nearly everything he said is what DeBay says. It was rubbish then, it's rubbish now, but there was a bit more of an excuse for people falling for it back then. There is no excuse for falling for it now. Oh, Rex, I know it is. Just silly semi-tronic. That's fine. As I said, I've got a thick skin. You need it. Some of the comments, I haven't received that many actually, but some comments that I have received, they're not even comments. Well, not comments that are attacking it, saying no, you're wrong because. That's fine. Not even comments just saying you're stupid, you're an idiot. That's not pleasant, but okay. No, just personal comments. I don't know. About anything, whether it's, I don't know, the shape of my nose or the fact I wear glasses. I am me, for better or for worse. I'm not going to make any excuses. I am just me. When I get those absolutely horrible comments, I've left them in there because I'm bigger than that. Oh, QED, as an IT TECJ, I beg you not to smoke near your PC. I was thinking the other day, QED, this PC, when I bought it, I never buy bleeding edge, I buy leading edge. So it's sort of one notch down. So it's quite a lot of money, and I spec'd it really well. And as I said, it was about 8 years ago, and it's still coping with everything I'm throwing at it. I'm not saying that what I'm doing this moment is particularly taxing, but I've got OBS, broadcasting through, and I'm receiving it on YouTube. I've got the chat, I've got Discord, I've got the background video playing. No problem at all. For gaming, it's kept up with everything that I've thrown at it, although I've not been doing gaming for long. Video editing, no problems at all. So the fact it's lasted 8 years and it can still cope with what's being thrown at it, I think is quite pleasing. And if I had to replace it, I'd do the same again, I think. But no issues so far. Still plenty of space, plenty of memory. So it was a good choice. As for the smoke, well, I've been more worried about the doggins that are getting... No, I don't use it in an ashtray, honestly. But it's actually got a nice little dip on the top. That would be a great ashtray. Right now, it's got a piece of equipment hanging in it. Always keep this handy for flirfs. I was going to use it in a video today, but in the end, I didn't need to. I was able to debunk the stupidity with a pink marker pen. That's the video that will be out Wednesday. I just got to do final editing and balancing the sound. Incidentally, guys, I got quite a few comments in some of the earlier videos about my sound levels being all over the place because, I'll be honest, I didn't really know what I was doing. If I play it through my hi-fi system, which is how I normally listen to my computer, the sound all sounds good because it's a volume and the quality. It's got good surround sound system, subwoofer, and that. It's not a problem. Headphones, which I know a lot of people watch it for, watch videos on, it really shows up between the high and the low volumes. I've made a determined effort over the last few videos, and I think I've got more to grips to it. So please, if my sound levels go out of whack in a video, please let me know. There was one I did that I couldn't do anything about because the video I was playing was so quiet that even with me taking it into the video software, upping the sound, exporting it, bouncing it back in again, upping the sound, knowing that the quality would deteriorate, even then I couldn't get the sound level up, not much anyway, and so it was still all over the place. Where are we? Gravity-free discovery flights open to anyone wishing to experience sensations. 15 parabolas departing Bordeaux Mérignac in France. Who's that with then? Rex, clean inside once a month, mechanical keyboard that can handle some water and dust, good for 4 years. Well, the keyboard I've actually got is a Logitech wireless keyboard. Do you know what? I couldn't believe it. The day I got this thing, I put it in front of me, really pleased, connected it up to the transmitter, the Bluetooth receiver and whatever it is, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, I'm not sure what it is, started typing, and a friend who'd come to visit Mrs. Sensible came over and said, "Here's a cup of tea for you," and slopped it straight over the keyboard. I'd had it connected up for 30 minutes. I poured tea out of it. To say I was not pleased is an understatement. Big time understatement. Oh, check my Discord, Global Mum. Sorry. Where on my Discord? In the lounge, perhaps? Whereabouts, Global Mom? I'm not sure quite what I'm looking for. Perhaps you can let me know. Is there anything Debay has done that hasn't been savagely debunked? No, don't think so. Captain Phobos, good evening. Alex Minty, hello there. Good to see you back again. Oh, direct message. Oh yeah, I see it. Let's have a quick look. Okay, I've got the video, Mum. I'm not sure if that's something you want me to play now. I will have a look. Oh, it's unlisted. Okay, so I won't put it on here. I'll have a look at it afterwards. Thank you. I saw the original thing that team had done. Brilliant. Has Debay ever done anything? I think he probably has touchpad, and then he flushes it. Well, either that or posts it directly on YouTube. Hey, Captain Phobos. Good evening. Is that Miroslav Hematsuski. You can put it on if you want. I just want to leave it up to you. Well, Mum, the only issue is if I screw up the feed. So what I'll probably do is I'll have a look at it afterwards and maybe look to put it on the next stream. I don't know whose it is, but we can catch up about that afterwards. Bo says JM doesn't have evidence, but look at it from the perspective of a fraud scamming a fraud. Well, Bo, I don't know if you've just seen his last video, either yesterday or the day before. Certainly, whatever it is he's got looks more interesting, stroke compelling than what he showed previously. And at face value, it appears as though he may have a case to whatever extent. So it'll be interesting. A bit like the whole FE Core thing, which after they removed those copyright strikes against Sliced by Kane, it's all gone quiet again, I think. Captain Phobos wants me to take a leak live stream. It seems to be a trend now. Yeah, but Captain, the thing is, if I take a leak on live stream, so then Oakley does it, and then Rider of Dinosaurs, and Daniel Pratt, and then Fight the Flat Earth does it, and before we know it, someone decides to take it to the next level and does a number 2. Do we really want to go there? Really? Live stream, streaming, steamy, yes, a live stream. Tom, no, you've been listening to that allegedly Dave, haven't you? Mr. Victory, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying about perhaps it's a sort of double bluff as a way of drumming up interest. Do you think they'll finally get back together, make up? Shelley and JM will get back together and the video will come out in the end. There's still issues with Flat Earth movement. I'm assuming there's no problems there, and you're just all having a good chat there. Pipara, I did notice that MC Toon was wearing Rider of Dinosaurs shirt. I don't know if Rod knows. I did mean to let him know in case he hadn't seen it. But yeah, I noticed that. Do you think it's a thing about people who are not flat earthers? We're a bit more observant. I don't know. Oh, what else have we got here? Yes, right. Slam DBW, wasn't there a video where a couple of people in a helicopter measured the curve over a lake? I haven't seen it. How would they do that? I'm not denying it, but I just don't know how they would do it. Good, clean fun, all in the best possible taste. That's cool, Martin. I'm more than happy for the New Zealand bloke to carry on. I think that, what's his name? Multi Tam Tam or whatever. I think he's dropped off the edge of the earth, so perhaps he's right. Roger Rabbit, who framed Roger Rabbit? Hello, greetings, and I'm still waiting for those patter cake photos of Mrs. Rabbit. I won't forget. He could have come in here at any time, but he only come in when it's funny. So this has been absolutely wonderful. I did intend to have a bit more of a plan for tonight, but that's not how it's rolled, and I am totally cool with that. And I hope you're all enjoying this. Actually, I could have another look to see what the latest voting is. Where are we? On the question I posed about about live versus pre-recorded videos. Let's see what we got. And the current votes are: do more live streams, still at 6%. Less live streams, has dropped to 19%. Keep the balance of live and videos the same, 36%. Pickled onions, 40%. Wow. So, everybody, no more live streaming for me, no more videos from me. Instead, I will be broadcasting a jar of pickled onions, and that will make the majority of you happy. I've been beaten by some pickled vegetables. Still, I suppose it makes a change, because normally us Globers are beating the living daylights out of pickled vegetables. Pie Parrot, you're right. Blue Marble Science, hello and good evening to you. I'm glad you like my vids. I am keeping them coming, thank you. I have no intention of stopping the vids, I really don't. Still more of this. No intention of stopping the vids. I just wondered what people thought, in case people were desperately for more live streaming, or actually desperately against it, just to see how things panned out. It seems as though it's, apart from pickled onions, it seems as though people who have voted so far think it's about the right mix. So that's for the meantime, I shall carry on as is, which is currently videos Tuesday through Saturday, giving me Sunday and Monday off, and a live stream fitted in about once a week, unless there's an organised debate. I don't know if people were here earlier on, but I've forgotten the name. Madame Medusa, I think it was. She's been prodding me for a debate with Subarats, which is cool. I'm happy to do that, because apparently I debunked his old map, even though that was one of his videos, which he subsequently took down, and they claimed I got the video from his Patreon. Oh, sorry, the map from his Patreon. I really don't understand that. So I just said, look, hey, whatever, send me your latest map. Give me a link to your latest map, or show me a video to your latest map. Then I'll look at it, and I can debunk it, and we can have a chat. So hopefully at some point, because I'm waiting on him. I respond back to him sort of within a couple of hours. He responds back to me after about 3 or 4 days. I don't know quite why it takes Antonio so long. Maybe he's working his way through his head, you know, with his mind being a cascading torrent of delight and thoughts percolating. You know, he uses his tongue. Do you know that quote from Blazing Saddles? I won't complete it. I won't complete it. I'm not sure I want to complete it. Now, what's happened there? I can see I've got someone on Discord and it's playing through to me with feedback. I will come to Discord in a moment. Mr. Roy Fraser. Hello, good evening, sir. Another patron. And he's just super chatted $5 with no comment whatsoever. Thank you, Roy. That's probably one of the wisest things that's been said on this channel tonight. And let's see, who do I have? Let me just jump through to the right place. Right, let's put this on. I have in the chat Mr. SKYFLYBRI. Bri, I'm just going to sort the sound out at this end. If you just give us a second. I don't know if you're there. You are ready. Just bear with me. And you should be live, Bri. Hello to you.
Good evening. Congratulations on your 3K subs.
Thank you very much. And actually, I'll just say, I've learnt something. On playing back one of my previous live streams, for whatever reason, and it's no one's fault, apart from mine, you come through at a blasting volume. So I've managed to realise that, and I've knocked you down a notch.
Okay,
but
super.
No, you're still as clear as a bell. Please, anyone out in the chat, let me know if Bri is too quiet or I am too loud, and I'll try and sort that balance. So, how are you, Bri?
Not too bad. My computer's 6 years old now, so it's getting old.
Yeah, well, like I say, mine's 8, but it's still keeping up with everything. But it was...
Yeah, mine's getting very slow now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, without doxing myself, I did spend many years working in IT. There's a little bit of information for people. Yeah, started off on mainframe computers, no less. I actually came across card punches. I have, over there, a computer hand punch, the ones where they literally press the buttons to make ad hoc programming cards. But that's a digression. Yeah, thank you very much for the congrats, Bri. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I came on mainly to talk about Beyond the Imaginary Curve and Dow.
No!
Riley's show.
No! Riley?
I was fuming with him.
What, with Dell?
Yeah, he was making these statements he had some ballers on there, some Irish guys that came on. He invited on. There was like 3 of them in a room, and they were just generally talking. It was quite polite. And then he was making all these statements, and I'm thinking, no, Dal, you're wrong. But I can't type in the chat because he's blocked me, obviously.
What sort of statements?
He was making a statement, and when I first heard it, it sounded quite practical, and it was like one of the Merrick Debay rules. It was one of his 200 Earth rules.
Yeah.
He was saying if they landed on the moon in 69 or whatever, how could they physically take a picture of the Earth with the moon horizon in the background? And I thought about it logically, and you can't.
No, I know what you're. I know what you're saying. It's the part Earth or half Earth, whatever, rising above the moon's horizon, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically you've got the Earth opposite the moon. Now, obviously, it's a ball; it's not a flat plane, so technically you could get it from certain points. But if you look at the landing areas of all the different Apollo landings, it's not physically possible to get the horizon of the moon in the shot with the Earth in it as well.
Well, Bri. The thing is, that clip of film that they show was from the orbiter. It was not from the landing site.
Oh, the famous one called Earthrise was from
Yes.
Apollo 8 in 1968.
Right.
So that was obviously taken from the orbiter. Michael Collins took a shot in Apollo 11 from the orbiter above the moon, not on the surface. But my point was that Dow was saying, how is it physically possible to get a picture of the Earth and the moon horizon in from the surface of the moon? And I'm thinking, there's no pictures from the surface of the moon with the Earth in it. The only picture of the whole Earth, which is the blue marble shot, which came from Apollo 17, doesn't include the horizon of the moon.
That's right, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is their claim that you couldn't do it, that's fine, but because it hasn't been shown. It hasn't been shown as a picture.
Yeah, he even fooled his Glovers to believe that they were sort of like scratching their heads, thinking, "How is that possible? How could you physically take a picture of the Earth if it's above your head with the horizon of the moon in it?" And of course, I even thought, "Yeah, that's not possible." So I went straight onto Stellarium and I checked it out, and it's not physically possible. So then I went to research on the NASA site, and I found that the first picture that was taken of the Earth was actually from Surveyor 3 in 1967. But that doesn't include a horizon of the moon. The first one was the famous Earthrise picture, which was Apollo 8, and obviously they didn't land, so it wasn't on the surface.
Right.
But obviously, he's got like 300 stupid flat earthers watching who listen to what he says and they think, yeah, he's right. He's
lapping it up, yeah. Bri, I'm just going to ask you to hold for 5 seconds. You'll still be live. It's just a couple of comments in there because I mentioned computer punch cards and that. I'm literally going to walk 6 feet and grab this to show people. I'll be back in a second.
I remember EMC. See you soon.
And he's back. Right. Now this thing, unfortunately, sorry, are you still there, Bri? Oh, he's put himself on mute. Okay. Yeah. This thing.
I'm muted, sorry.
Okay, you're there, that's cool. This thing, I'm going to show people, weighs an absolute ton. As I said, I was working in IT with mainframes in the mid-80s, and the place where I was working at the time was just finally getting rid of their last reliance on computer punch cards. For those who don't know, this is a computer punch card. It's got too many holes in, it just was playing. But here's an unused card. The light's blanking it out. I don't know if you can see, but there's rows of numbers on there. And you get a whole stack of cards, would be fed into a machine, and depending on the method, it would read the holes. And those are bits, in effect, computer bits. And this is, it's out of order right now because it got knocked over by my daughter, but this is a genuine 1960s ICT, so that's International Computers and Tabulators, computer hand punch. You put the card in here and you type in combinations and it punches the holes. And underneath sits a little tray which collects the holes. Those holes are called Chad. Now, you might remember from the US election, I think before last, there was lots of arguments over exact voting results, and they were rechecking the results because they were using punched holes. And sometimes you had what was called hanging Chad, which is where there was a hole that was punched, but the Chad was still sort of hadn't come right out. A real bit of history there. And in fact, if you want to change your programming, you could put a little sticker over the hole to wipe that bit out. Or you could get one of the holes, put it on, press it with your nail, and it would actually sit in there. And a place I worked at and that was basically fixing bugs in computer program. And a place I worked at had a whole stack of these cards, and over the years, corrections and changes have been made by pushing the holes back in. and then they got a new card reader to pick up the cards to feed in the machine, and it was a vacuum card reader, and it sucked all the bloody holes out and screwed up all the programming. Real story. And this thing, as I said, weighs a ton. It's the main structure is solid iron. I'm just going to put this down before I do myself an injury. So there you go. I never thought I'd be giving you a computer lesson there. Hanging chads, that's right, colon. And 2000 election. So I don't know how many of you have ever seen anything like that before. And Jay, you're right. I have found the technology. Apparently it wasn't destroyed. We can now go back to the moon. We can exceed low Earth orbit, thanks to Mr. Sensible and his hanging chad. Punch drunk. Hanging chads. It takes you back, Mr. Victory. Yeah, well, I bet you weren't expecting to see one of those tonight. I actually contacted, well, that was ICT, International Computers and Tabulators, which later became ICL, International Computers Limited, which back in the 80s sometime was sold on to Fujitsu. And so I contacted Fujitsu to try and get an idea as to the value of one of those things, because they were just being skipped. Places didn't keep them. They were, you know, would you keep an old stapler or an old calculator? No, it goes in the bin once it's no good. And then history's gone. And they were unable to value it. I have done lots of research on the internet, and I found one website where a guy was selling old computer equipment that he had refurbished, and he was selling one that was nearly identical to that, but although mine needs a clean up, and yes, it needs rectifying, I think the springs come off somewhere, mine looked in a better condition. This other one had all sorts of scratches and wear on it, and it was sold for an unlisted price. But when I contacted him, the buying price, as is, was not very hard at all, not very high at all. So I decided to keep that. Someone's mentioning a 50 megabyte drive that weighed a ton. Adam, the first company where I was at, they still using proper hard disks, which were about so big across, I guess about 12 inches across, 10 platters with a plastic cover with a handle. You put it in a machine, which is like a small dishwasher, screw it on, and then the cover lifted off. Incredible things. And I couldn't believe it when we had some 80 megabyte disk platters. 80 megabytes. It's a different world. So IBM punches we have were electric. Yeah, Blue Marble, absolutely right. These were from an earlier time still. They did have electric ones, but these were great for manually just coding up one card. A 1 gig Winchester, £22. Oh, flat Earth movement. You are the knob. There's never been a photo taken of the Earth from the moon. Really? You've never seen a photo of the Earth from the moon? Why don't cameras work on the moon then? Yes, ticker tape, cast on top. Absolutely. I said about the story about the vacuum card reader. There's another story about a guy I worked with, lovely guy whose nickname was Wall, as in Winnie the Pooh, the owl, Wall. He's probably dead now. Anyway, he was telling me that I'm sure it was him, because he could hand code, and he was going at a tremendous rate, and big stack of cards got dropped. Cards everywhere. They're not labelled up. The only way was to literally read and work out, and nightmare. So that screwed up that program. Anson, thank you for your congratulations on the 3,000. something about card reader. Burn some punch cards when they got stuck in a card reader. A bright light to read them. Yeah, 10 cards, 800 bytes per second. Big clunky. Yes, Blue Marble, you're quite correct. But they were great. That was real computing. When men were real men and computers were real computers, it took a whole room. Our computer room had to be air conditioned. It had halon gas in case of fire, and it was kept so cool. We kept kegs of beer in there. That's what you call computing. Now what you got? You got a little box with two feeble little green lights flicking. What's that then? Well, that's our entire server, the size of a cigarette packet. Not very interesting, is it? 2 megabyte platters. Yeah. Yeah, we when I started, it certainly wasn't gigabytes. It was megabytes, as I said. 80 meg disc platter. So that wasn't one disc. That was 10 discs. Oh yes, someone was saying about COBOL. Yeah, I started off with COBOL. That's the first language I used. And for those of you who don't know, that's a business language. It's common business-oriented language. Basically, just processes vast amounts of data rather than calculations. Then used, what was it, on the ICL machines, there was a machine code language, SFL, symbol, I can't remember what it stands for now, structured something language, but there's SFL, SCL and BCPL were the languages. It was mostly the SFL I used. Good times, good fun, and gone. Never mind.
Yes, my first computer was a compact portable 3.
Okay.
It had 0.5 megabyte of RAM and 20 megabyte hard drive with two 5.5-inch floppy drives. They not the 3.5 inch, 3.25. No, it's 5.25. Sorry, floppy drives. They're like in a little plastic, not hard plastic, but a floppy plastic sleeve.
Yeah.
And that was the top of the range technology there. Orange screen built in.
Yes. Yeah.
And it ran on MS-DOS 3.11.
Oh, okay, and that was the first machine you had.
Yeah.
The first machine I ever used was when I was at school, and it used basically it was a disk operating system called CPM, and it was version 1.4. Basically, I just through luck I got into IT extremely early on. I mean, I was 13 to 14 years old, and the BBC Micro was coming out soon, so it was a little before then.
All right.
Touchpad's way too modern for me. It's working on CPP. I'm not sure what CPP is.
Can I warn people? I brought some of those what are they called, the little hard drives you can plug into the USB. Back in 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
And they were like 500 megabytes, which was quite big then.
Yeah.
And I copied all my flying videos on there, and they don't read anymore.
Oh no.
They don't last forever. It's like,
no, but Brian, I don't know how expensive there are, but of course there are data recovery companies.
Oh yeah.
But someone was saying about the cost of drives and that. I do remember that I bought a machine which must have been about 95, 96, because it had Windows 95 on it, and I paid extra because I wanted more storage. As standard, the machine came with an 800 megabyte disk drive, and I paid an extra £200 to go up to a 1 gig drive, which is just astonishing. I mean, absolutely astonishing. I mean, I forget, but this machine's either got 16 or 32 gig just of main memory, and I think a 256 gig hard drive and a 256 SSD and a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's just unbelievable. Fortran, God, Roger Rabbit, I hated Fortran. That was horrible, absolutely horrible. And JM's talking about a ZX Spectrum 128K. ZX81, mate. Beat that. Yes.
Yeah, if you buy the latest iMac in PC World, the 2019 ninth generation, if you get the was it solid state drive,
Yep.
you can get 1 terabyte for 1,635. But if you want 2 terabytes, it's another £400, and it's not worth it. You don't need that.
No, not as SSD. No, I mean I've got SSD as my the prime drive, if you like, where all the donkey work's taking place. But all the storage, you're not going to notice the difference between SSD and an ordinary drive. Not for that. And sorry.
It's a 5K Retina, and obviously the standard model comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which you can upgrade, I think, on the 2019 model to 128. But if you had it done at the shop, it would cost over £1,000. But you can just buy that for like £200 and put it in yourself. It's just little chips you push in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've just seen Adam L said he made money writing programs in Basic Plus. Adam, if I'd had, when I was a kid, if I had my head screwed on, and if perhaps my mum had been a little business savvy or whatever, I could have made a killing, because the sort of stuff I could write on computers was at least as good as some of the games you could buy, because there's very little difference. I mean, someone mentioned about the ZX81. Yes, the ZX81 with 1K or a 16K wobble pack. You could write stuff yourselves very easily. I mean, you couldn't write something like Call of Duty yourself. Even if you understood the language and all that, you just couldn't. Just the sheer scale of it, if nothing else. But the quality of the programs you could purchase that in those days was well within the capability of someone who had taught themselves and put in the effort. And so, had things been a little different, I could have been a wealthy man. Brian, I could have spent my life in luxury.
Yes, in the Maldives, yes.
Yes, yes. And that picture behind me would have been my front garden. Oh,
yeah, that would have been a real picture.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm the same with the computers. Obviously, I left school in '83, so I'll give my age away now, so it doesn't matter. But that's when computers really that's when the schools first got them. About '82, I think it was.
Yes, with the BBC. Yeah. I mean, the school I was in, they were quite forward-looking, and before the government had announced that they wanted to put a computer in every school, they had decided that they would want to buy one. So they raised a lot of money to actually buy one, and they placed it on order. The timing was just right, because the government then said, look, any school who hasn't got a computer, we'll pay for one. So they said, we haven't got one, and so we got one from them, and then we had the one which we paid for ourselves. So we had a BBC Micro and a Research Machines 380Z with twin 3.5-inch floppy drives. No hard drive. It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like 1/4 megabyte of RAM. How would that even start up? It would take about half an hour, wouldn't it?
But the thing was, of course, there was no fancy graphics. It was just green screen. So straight away you don't need all the handling of colours, even 8-bit colours. There was just nothing. It was just text. Just text. And on that job where I worked on the ICL mainframe, they actually had on there something called Colossal, which was the first adventure game. None of this fancy graphical walking around, fighting and collecting treasure. It was text-based only. And from Colossal came on the adventure games on the home computers, like the Commodore and the Spectrum and so on, which started off just as text, and then as time went on they had basic 8-bit pictures, and then more detailed pictures, and then basic animation, and so on, until now you get onto these almost photorealistic things. It's been quite a ride seeing it personally, from simple text through to virtually video quality gameplay, it's been quite an impressive journey. Colossal Cave, yeah, Micus. It's got several names, but that's it. With a room called Swiss cheese. Real programmers know that it was hard to write. It should be hard to read. Absolutely. Don't put comments in. Keep them guessing. Keep your skills up. Make yourself invaluable, because no other bugger knows what the program does.
Yeah,
hey,
when the computer
Mr. Andrak, got to run. Thank you very much. You have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, carry on, Brian.
Yeah, when they first came out, I actually made some, and I've done a bit of programming in C++, and I was really comfortable with it. And then all of a sudden, you got Java and stuff like that coming out. I just couldn't keep up with it. It just got too advanced.
Yeah.
It would have taken me.
Well, you won't keep up, no. Quickie,
No, you can't keep up.
Quickie, you must have just joined us. You said, what about punch cards? You mean these, sir?
Ah, punch card.
Yeah. Animated GIF, yes. And sprites. Sprites, they were amazing. Sprite graphics. Excuse me. Sprite graphics, that was quite a change. And the thing was with the computers in those days, Brian, that you could buy, you had things like the Spectrum, the Commodores. There was, I don't know if you remember, I think it was called the Memotech MMX. There was another one, I can't remember the name, but you could only do it in Fortran. None of these computers worked with each other. A program on one would not work on another. It's a different language or all sorts. You buy a printer for one thing, it wouldn't fit on another machine. You had to have special cables, and so it was a bitch. So when they all finally settled around the PC architecture of IBM, and suddenly you could choose to buy a disk drive from multiple manufacturers. You could choose to get a mouse, or well, mouse when that came in, a keyboard or a monitor, and it would just plug in. That was amazing. And then Apple come along and do everything all their own way.
Yeah, Apple was the first, and then Bill Gates, I think he worked for them, and he tried to sell them his Windows. Windows for Workgroups, I think was the first one he had.
I think he tried to, yeah, was it Windows or it might have been MS-DOS. I think it might have been MS-DOS he tried to sell, and they didn't buy it. But I'm not 100% on the history.
I do remember having IBM discs with MS-DOS 3.11 written on them. So that was from IBM. Whether that was under contract, I don't know.
MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System.
MS-DOS,
It was the de facto standard. That's how he started to make his money. And I remember using a version of Windows when I forget, was it Windows? I'm not sure it was Windows 3. When finally, but when Windows finally could overlap, because before then they would bump up against each other. So basically you're dividing your screen up, but you couldn't drag a window on top or overlapping another one. So when they did that, that was stunning. Absolutely stunning. But you tell the kids of today and they won't believe you.
Yeah, Bill Gates is currently building Utopia in America. He's building a whole new city.
He's building
a whole new city.
Oh, right.
A whole infrastructure, everything.
With regard to MS-DOS, Mandelbrot Set says that Bill Gates made MS-DOS for IBM, but he ended up, it became his disk operating system. Was it that he was contracted for them to build it, or they just funded it? I have heard about it, but it's so long ago, I just can't remember.
It was over 30 years ago, wasn't it, of course?
Yeah, it's, yes, Jay's just made a comment. Yes, because the IBM architecture of computers allowed the computer to address 640K of memory. And since at that time the biggest programs were around 64K, so it was allowing 10 times that amount, that was plenty. And the quote was, for Bill Gates, 640K is more memory than anyone will ever need on a computer. And he was quite right, until they needed more than 640K.
What's that? I can't remember now. That Indian, the Vayada or something? Their religion.
I don't know.
Well, I can't remember the name of it. What's it called? The Indian religion from years ago, they had all these numbers like 4, 8, 16, 24, 32,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
in their books like
Okay.
10,000 years ago.
Right. Where are you
So they
going
had-
with this?
I'm not going anywhere because I can't remember the information, so I'm a bit stuck on it. But I'm just saying it existed years ago. It's just been reinvented.
Well,
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
It's just the number base, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but it's funny how they brought out these like 4 megabyte cards and then 8 megabytes and 16 megabytes.
Well, it's because of addressing and bytes, because it's all binary
and then it changes to gigabytes and it's exactly the same numbers.
Well, yeah, it's just carrying on the scale. Yeah, it's binary. I tell you what, guys, I'm starting to lose it. I'm struggling to think now. It's been a long day.
I can't remember.
No, never mind. Well, let's leave that.
We'll leave that. Let's talk about the flat Earth retards.
Which one?
Because
I will say I am going to wrap up quite shortly, but another 10 minutes or so, and then I think I'll probably call it a night. But yeah, please carry on, Brian.
Yeah, that guy, you've done videos on him, haven't you?
Oh, that guy, yes. Yeah, what about him?
Have you got anything new on him?
Well, last I saw, he was fighting with Where's Wally, and I think Sliced by Kane had given up on him. He's fighting with Where's Wally about moon phases.
Tie a knot on it.
So yes, yeah. He was talking about moon phases and how they'd be a particular phase was impossible at a certain place because of the angles, or whatever. He was wrong, but yeah, that's where they were. And to be honest, I was not so interested and left them to it. Touchpads asks, who's my favourite flat earther? It depends what you mean by that, touchpad.
Sorry. Dumb F of the year, that one.
Well, that hasn't happened yet, has it?
So you've got Anthony Riley, you've got Phuket Word, Nick.
Yeah, I think he's out of it now. He hasn't done anything for a while, and he said he wasn't, and he hasn't. I think possibly, or probably, my favourite one is Anthony Riley because, Oakley is just obnoxious. So are quite a lot of the others, but someone like that guy, he just can't grasp anything. Anthony Riley can hold a civil conversation for the most part. I think what he's saying is utter rubbish, but I think he's a more interesting character. And he's not so easy to debunk as someone like that guy who's sort of saying about a balloon, if you don't tie a knot in it and you leave the top open, globers are trying to say the air will stay in it. That's just stupid. Anthony Riley's stuff is stupid, but there's a certain sort of logic about it. So I'd say probably him.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's something else? I can't remember now.
Well, Demon Orban said we had floppy disks but didn't move on to stiffies. No, but did move on to hard disks. Bri, this is a question for you, really. The 8 shower heads. Who was that?
That's Nathan Thompson.
Nathan Thompson, right? There you go, Floster and Thompson.
Yeah, there's a guy called Nathan Thompson. He's actually on the Flat Earth Core, what do you call it? Field Engineer Course, sorry, not Flat Earth Core.
Yeah.
Field Engineer Core. And he was at the Dallas thing recently. And he was staying at this house, whether he was babysitting or whatever, I don't know. And he just had to show off the shower room because it had 8 shower heads.
Right.
And that's why I made that song up about it.
Yeah, I just didn't know who the guy was, or couldn't remember who the guy was. I remember the story.
He's got a beard at the moment. He didn't have a beard back then.
Got no hot water to shave with, has he?
He's very... I call him peculiar. He keeps pulling his top up and showing his stomach, because he's only like in his 30s, so he's quite fit, and he keeps showing off his no beer gut on flat muscles and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
but he's the guy with the hammers and the balls. That's all he's doing, isn't it? I mean, that's not. Wow, it's a bit odd.
He's the one that called out George at the conference asking about the Brian Mullen and whether he phoned his company and got in the sack or whatever. But he never got the sack. That's just a load of nonsense.
Yeah. Well, Captain Phobos has just said Riley as well. Dora, yeah, I expect a big delivery. No, forget the cheese. You're one of my wonderful patrons. I'll let you off. Sorry, Philosopher of Nonsense saying he was one of the guys who was going to fight M. Stone at FEIC. I don't know anything about that at all.
No, M. Stone was confronted by Karen B. He's talking about that guy called Flat Earth Fokker.
Don't know. Don't know. Blue Marble Science is just saying that Riley's stream this morning, the last part, he turned him inside out on gas containers. Wow, that sounds interesting. Blue, were you actually in the side chat or were you on voice with him? I didn't catch that. That sounds interesting, though. Please let us know.
Blue should come on and talk to us now live.
Well, I am, to be honest, that'd be great, and it's welcome anytime. But yes, I am going to be wrapping up shortly. As I said, I didn't even get home until about 4:45 this morning. So, and I was yawning earlier on.
Oh, you worked a night shift, so you're probably quite tired now.
Well, it was a late shift. Excuse me. It was a finish at 4 a.m. shift rather than a full night. So I got away with that. Team Skeptic has the video, says Philosopher. It's out of the Blue Marble thing. And Captain Phobos wants to vote Riley for DFOTY. That's an interesting choice. I'm not going to reveal at this point who I am pumping for, but I'll say it was actually very difficult to choose. And Philosopher of Nonsense saying JM for DFOTY. I think it's between those two. Joshua Michael, JM Truth, and Anthony Riley, Sleeping Warrior. I don't know if anyone else thinks that anyone else has a chance of winning. Do you win? Do you win it or do you lose it by coming first? I don't know.
Don't forget Anthony Riley, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's what we were just saying. It's between the two.
Oh, that's his saying, isn't it? That's Nick's saying. Anthony Riley is I don't know.
Well, no.
It's Wes Wiley. Wes Wiley keeps playing his videos, and he keeps cutting out them sound bites. It's really funny.
Oh, and Rider Dinosaurs cut out from JM True saying blah 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 blah, and he's got one of these button things you can put for soundboards. Blah 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 blah, which was quite interesting. Anyway, people, I think that I will, unfortunately, as pleasurable as this is, I think I will now have to bring this to a close. So, as always, Bri, is there any last words you want to say?
Nice to see you. To see you, nice. It's good night from me, and it's good night from him.
So that's who? That's a bit of Brucey and
bit of
two Ronnies.
Two Ronnies.
Yeah, got him. Okay, well, as always, it's a pleasure, Bri. So thank you very much. All right, you take care, mate.
And congratulations, and I'll see you maybe on the next show, possibly.
Okay, cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good night. So, everybody, it's been wonderful. I'm glad you could join me here tonight. I'm glad that I ticked over the 3,000, not just because it's the 3,000, but because I've done it live with you people, friends. I would say friends. It's great. Thank you for all the nice blether. Well, it was a bit, wasn't it, Pi? It was all a bit wandering, see where we go, but that's cool. Thank you, Dora. I will have a good night's sleep. Thanks, Touchpad. Victory, yeah, next time. Everyone, really, really appreciate it. I'm going to sign off. I've got a video out tomorrow, and my mind has turned to cheese, and I can't even remember who it's about. But hopefully, I'll see you in the comment section there. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it all. Until next time, stay sensible.